You're not going to believe what's been happening behind the scenes in Formula One. The moves, the whispers, the decisions being made right now could completely change the face of the sport for years to come. And it all starts with a bombshell revelation from McLaren's CEO, Zak Brown, who openly admitted something that had only been quietly speculated until now. Carlos Sainz is still very much considered a real option for McLaren if a seat opens up in the next few years. He said it outright. The door will always be open for Carlos as long as they have a vacancy. Right now, of course, the plan is to keep Oscar and Lando on long-term contracts, keep the team stable for the foreseeable future. But if, for any reason, things were to change and Carlos became available, Zak made it crystal clear that he wouldn't hesitate to pick up the phone and call him, because he already has that number saved. While Ferrari was going all in on Lewis Hamilton, sacrificing Carlos Sainz in one of the most historic moves in recent memory, there's a question that still echoes through the paddock, whispered behind closed doors. Was it really worth it? Was it really the right decision to let go of a young, ascending talent in favor of bringing in an aging champion? Zak Brown was diplomatic, but if you read between the lines, the true dilemma is obvious. It's not as simple as it looks. Sure, Lewis is a 7-time world champion, but Carlos, according to Brown, was absolutely incredible during his time with McLaren. A great friend, an outstanding driver, someone any team would love to have in their garage. Ferrari's choice wasn't just about names on a roster. It was a cultural shift, a gamble on the present at the expense of the future. There's a reason why teams like McLaren and even Ferrari themselves keep their doors open for Carlos, even after official breakups. Because things in Formula One are never as clean or final as they seem. There are so many dynamics in play. I mean, when you have a 7-time world champion like Lewis Hamilton, it's almost impossible to say no. That kind of experience, that kind of star power, it's irresistible. But at the same time, Carlos was, and still is, an incredible asset. He's not just fast, he's smart, he's a team builder, a morale booster, someone who lifts an entire project on his shoulders. And you could see that with what he's already doing at Williams. Even after stepping away from a winning Ferrari, Carlos embraced the Williams challenge with a rare mindset, one of rebuilding from the ground up, and he's already delivering. In just a few races, he's scored solid results, like an 8th place in Saudi Arabia and a 10th place in China, proving he doesn't need a top-tier car to make a difference. What's even more touching is that Carlos himself admitted that driving for Williams, Ferrari, and McLaren represents a childhood dream come true. By trading the glamour of Ferrari for the underdog struggle at Williams, Carlos proved that not every hero wears red. Amid all the criticism and doubts, he made it clear he didn't join the British team just to fill a seat, but to be an active part of a real revolution. And then there's Max Verstappen. You've probably heard the whispers, but what's happening now is way beyond rumors. Max's future at Red Bull, once considered rock solid, now looks genuinely shaky. What was once seen as pure speculation has taken on very real and very serious dimensions, fueled by a toxic combination of contract clauses, underwhelming performances, and aggressive moves being made by none other than Mercedes. According to veteran Juan Pablo Montoya, Mercedes already has a bold plan on the table. Deliver a direct ultimatum to George Russell and make room for one of the most historic signings the sport has ever seen. Russell, who's been consistently delivering solid results in 2025, would be given a brutal choice: accept being teammates with Max Verstappen or leave the team altogether. It's that simple. And with Max only managing one win in the first 5 races, he's dangerously close to triggering his performance exit clause, a clause that Christian Horner himself confirmed last year and that Helmut Marko has already admitted could come into play. If Verstappen falls below 3rd in the drivers' standings, everything could come crashing down by the European summer. Mercedes, with the sharpness of a hawk, has absolutely no intention of missing this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Besides Verstappen's insane talent, Toto Wolff's team sees a golden chance to completely destabilize Red Bull by removing their backbone. Make no mistake, taking Max out of that team would be like ripping the spine out of Red Bull Racing. Meanwhile, George Russell has been putting on a surprisingly calm and confident front. the British driver who's been racking up podiums and firmly establishing himself as one of the brightest young talents in the sport, has gone on record saying he doesn't fear any competition. "Convergence is my currency," Russell said bluntly, making it clear that he's ready to go head-to-head with anyone, even the reigning king of Formula One. But that brave face hides a ticking time bomb. Could Mercedes really maintain harmony within the team with two such explosive personalities in the same garage? Former Mercedes strategist James Vowles has already sounded the alarm. Verstappen might bring unparalleled performances, but he also brings the kind of drama that could erode the stable culture Toto Wolff has spent years building. Signing Max would be both a brilliant move and a potentially catastrophic gamble that could split Mercedes right down the middle. And just when you think it couldn't get any crazier, rumors exploded that Max Verstappen could ditch Red Bull before his contract ends in 2028 and join none other than Aston Martin. This bombshell has set the paddock on fire. Aston Martin's boss, Andy Cowell, had no choice but to address the rumors publicly. He said they're lucky to have two experienced drivers signed for the next 2 years, meaning he can focus entirely on improving the business and building a faster race car. When pressed on whether that meant no space for Max in 2026, he simply reiterated that his head was completely focused on building a better company for Lance and Fernando. On the surface, it sounds like a straightforward corporate answer, but if you read between the lines, the tension is palpable. Cowell insisted that they're very happy with Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, both of whom have contracts extended at least until 2026. But the flat-out refusal to even entertain discussions about Verstappen smells a lot like damage control. It's not an exaggeration to say that where there's smoke, there's fire, especially when you consider that Aston Martin has just lured heavyweights like Adrian Newey and will become Honda's official engine partner in 2026. Bringing Verstappen into that mix would be the ultimate cherry on top. And it's no coincidence that rumors suggest a staggering $300 million offer for 3 years has already been prepared, heavily backed by Saudi Arabia's powerful PF fund, which now owns a significant stake in Aston Martin. It paints a picture where Verstappen, a multiple world champion, could recreate his winning magic with Honda and Newey in an aggressive, no-holds-barred environment laser-focused on victory. Staying at Red Bull is starting to feel like a golden prison for Max. When Andy Cowell says he's focused on improving the business for Lance and Fernando, the real interpretation is a lot more nuanced. In corporate speak, that's a classic move to cool down a situation that's threatening to blow up internally. Nobody at Aston Martin is naive. If Max Verstappen shows serious interest, doors will swing wide open and the red carpet will be rolled out immediately. Sure, the team values Stroll and Alonso, but in pure performance terms, neither can deliver what Max has already proven he can do. Plus, Alonso's relationship with the team was always designed to extend beyond racing. There's already a script in place where he could smoothly transition into an ambassadorial or executive role, making it even easier for Max to slip into a race seat without causing internal trauma. As always, Fernando Alonso played it cool, downplaying the rumors by saying he sees all this speculation as a good sign for Aston Martin's project. But behind the scenes, nobody is ignoring the obvious. Verstappen is the most sought-after name in Formula One, and if he decides to move, anyone in his way will simply have to step aside. Even with a contract until 2026, Alonso has made it clear that the moment he feels he's no longer competitive, he'll step aside gracefully.